Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's such a beautiful morning today, you guys. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I have some very wonderful guests today, you guys. I'm Dr. Thelma Scott. I'm the founder and host of Safe Communities. Remember, no longer Safe Diversity. We are Safe Communities. So today I'm excited. I have my co-host, Dr. Sandra Scott, and she's going to tell a little bit about her, what's going on, and then she's going to introduce our guests. But again, remember, it's a beautiful day, but tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So you see someone, tell them good morning, or tell them good evening, tell them you love them, because we never know what people are going through, all right? So keep a smile and tell them you love them and have a wonderful day. Whether they speak or not, say good morning, good evening. Okay, Dr. Scott, you can take it away.
Good morning, and good morning on this beautiful Monday morning
yes.
in March. We are so happy to have two, I would say, very important guests. And we know a little bit about them in my work with the Education Foundation. And we have the Superintendent of Spring Independent School District, Dr. Cregg Cuellar. And we have his super duper. Chief of Staff, that is Dr. LaTracy Harris. And so we're going to give them an opportunity. First of all, welcome. And good morning to you.
We're so excited. This radio station just lit up, didn't it, Sandra?
Yes. To see beautiful and handsome faces this morning. What we would like for you to do this morning is, first of all, Dr. Cuellar, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in education in general. We're going to just unpack that, and then we're going to allow Dr. Harris to do the same and just tell the audience, the listening audience, a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much to the both of you for allowing us the opportunity to sit before two fantastic individuals who I just truly admire. And when you think about having a heart for children, these two wonderful ladies have the biggest heart for kids. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the system for always going over and beyond all of our kids in Spring ISD. So a little bit about me. I am definitely so honored and privileged to be given the opportunity to lead Spring ISD, and it's an opportunity that I do not take lightly. It's I have the utmost. I truly believe that it's a calling, but it's a high responsibility that I do not take lightly. I have 32,000 kids under my care, and parents trust me and trust us, to ensure that children, are healthy, they're safe, but most importantly, they're learning every single day. It's a job that I'm blessed to be in because, we get to really reimagine, what Spring ISD is and, who we are, especially to the community and for all of our children. And so I'm very excited to be in this capacity. And very excited to serve. Most importantly, I always say, it's not about the position, but it's about the responsibility to serve. And the higher you move up in any profession, especially in education, you continue to expand, your responsibility for service. And that's truly what this job is. It's my call to service, and to serve all of our youth and all of our staff and all of our public. So a little bit about me is I'm a Houston native. Initially was born in Brownsville, Texas, down in the South. Moved up to Houston at a really young age and grew up in Southwest Houston, Alief ISD, K-12. And, had the opportunity to really grow up under, a fantastic mother who was, a teacher, and an administrator and a central office leader in Alief ISD. And so we could say that I followed the footsteps of my mom, but not really. I was a stubborn kid. I was an only child.
Oh, that's the only child. So you was spoiled.
Only child. I wouldn't say about spoiled. I think it was more of an opportunity for my parents to really work me even more and really start me early. But however, I was determined, to not follow either of my parents' footsteps.
Right. Okay.
My father, was in the military and then in the medical field, and then my mother, was a career educator. Okay. So I said, I'm going to go into business. I'm going to make it into my own calling. Right. And I decided to venture and go into business. And then I found out that, business was not for me. And something that a lot of people don't know about me either, is that at the time I was working in corporate, and I was working for Eckerd's, and I was the
Eckerd drugstore.
Eckerd drugstore.
Right.
Eckerd drugstore. So I was a manager working for Eckerd's, and then I moved up really quickly. Right. And then working in management, I decided to leave school. I dropped out of school. Right. I dropped out of college. Because I felt that college was not for me. Oh, okay. A lot of people don't know that. Right. And that's why I have such an appreciation for education. Right. And why I really, really am so focused on ensuring that every child has something that they're so interested in that will take them, to the finish line. And when Eckerd's ended up filing for bankruptcy and going under. Right. CVS came in from the north and took over. I was out of a job. Oh, and I was working odd jobs Monday through Friday, working weekends, and I was at a crossroads in my life. Okay. Where I knew that it was, either the military, which I was really heavily considering, or I would take a teacher assistant job in Alief and just get my feet wet in education. So I took that first step into education in 2002. Oh, right. Took my mom's advice, and I've never looked back since. I have never looked back since. That first day in the classroom, and I was working with special needs children. Oh, that's my heart. It opened my heart up. Yes. And I just completely fell in love, in working with children. Yes. And wanting to make a difference for kids, for all kids. And so that's my journey. And starting in 2002. So you had to follow in your mother's footsteps. I ended up having to say, well, Mom, I guess after all, I did end up following in your footsteps. But that's wonderful. I know you appreciate that. I really do. And being a career educator, I had the opportunity to watch her as I was growing up and really instill those very important, qualities in me, and I'm just very fortunate to have we're celebrating. I believe it's an International Women's Day, and over the weekend especially, and definitely want to celebrate my mom because she is. Well, I hope she's listening, but you can talk straight to her. She is definitely one that has empowered so many, has changed lives, over the decades, and so. If she's watching today, what do you want to say to her, International Women? What do you want to say to her? I just want to say that, you definitely are a model, and you are, you've always served as a beacon of hope, for every single child that you have impacted. And, even to this day, I can't go anywhere in the state of Texas without running into someone that you have impacted, Mom. Oh, I love it. I just want to say thank you for everything that you have given to me, yesterday, today, and of course for years to come. Oh, that's so beautiful. I hope she's listening, or she can go back and play it back. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay. So that's my story, in a nutshell, and I think that all my experiences, here both in Texas and outside of Texas, have really prepared me, for where we're at today with Spring. And I think that I am the right person at the right time, to help Spring, really position themselves to be successful. Right. That's awesome. Really position themselves to be, that beacon of hope for every single child. That's wonderful. Love that story. Wonderful. Yes. Oh, we're so honored to have you today, and that was a beautiful story. So now you can introduce your assistant and let us know. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself. Absolutely. One of the things that superintendents always know is that this work is very difficult.
It is.
It's heavy. It's a lot. With any decision that you make, it's never going to be the right decision.
Right.
You're never going to make or please everyone, and that's part of the job. But one of the most important decisions that you make is a strong leadership team around you.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And I always hire folks.
You got to have that.
You have to have that.
Got to.
And I have always hired folks that are smarter than me,
Right.
that are more innovative than me,
Right.
that will be able to push on me, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's very important. You don't want to fill the table with just yes
Right.
folks.
That's right.
They're just going to yes you. No,
Yeah.
because I make mistakes, and
Yes.
I need a team
Yes.
that can
Let
call
you
me
know.
on that and
Right.
help me continue to get better. But we know a critical role is a chief of staff. A chief of staff's responsibility is exactly what it says in the
Right.
title.
Chief of
They
staff.
keep the temperature on the culture and
Right.
the climate throughout the district.
Right.
Making sure that all 5,600 staff are good, they're
Right.
okay,
Yes.
but also keeping the pulse in the community.
And it's not an easy job.
It's not an easy job. It's a very important decision.
Right.
And, I know most superintendents, when they're looking for that chief of staff role, you want to look for someone, again, that is of that same mindset as you,
Right.
has the same philosophical values and
Right.
ideals, but also someone that has a lot of institutional knowledge,
Right. Okay.
someone that has a lot of experience. And, Dr. LaTracy Harris, who I'm very proud to introduce,
Okay.
has been in Spring ISD for 23 years.
Oh,
From teacher.
I was only there 3 days,
all the
3
way-
years for you, huh? I'm 26 years. You're 23. All right.
Right. And that was
we can-
important for me, was to have someone that really understands the landscape of the community as a
Yes.
whole. And that has worked her way up through the organization and
Amazing.
knows all of the critical stakeholders, knows the
Right.
people, and really has a pulse on what's happening. So, I'm very excited to have her by my side and helping us, do this wonderful work that we're doing. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and turn it over to the Spring ISD Chief of Staff,
All right,
Dr.
let's give her
LaTracy
hands,
Harris.
Evan. Give it all. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you,
All
Dr.
right.
Cuellar. And thank you guys for having us.
Right.
It's always a
Pull it a little
privilege.
closer to you if you can. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's good. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Always a privilege to be able to speak about Spring ISD.
Yes.
Like Dr. Cuellar said, I've been in Spring ISD for 23
years.
And I tell everyone I'm only 25 years old. I started when I was 2 years old.
Right.
But Spring is my home.
Yes.
I am a native Houstonian. I graduated from Smiley High School.
Okay.
Sure did.
Okay.
And went to University of Houston.
Okay.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
And definitely went in thinking pre-med
Right.
was my track.
Right.
And quickly realized that even though I enjoyed those courses, I wanted to do something different. And just stepping into that first classroom, having the opportunity to teach
Right.
second graders.
Oh, second graders.
Second
Okay.
graders. And I went back to North Forest, where I graduated from.
Right.
Because I wanted that to be my first teaching assignment.
Right.
Loved every second of it.
Okay.
And I knew for sure I found my home. I wanted to be a teacher.
Right.
Loved every part of it.
Right.
And just to see those little second graders light up every day.
Every day.
And just be so excited about the learning. I knew that was something that, was going to be my career path.
Right.
And from there, I met Helen Major of the Helen Major Elementary School
Right.
when I was
Okay.
working in North Forest. And so she told me all about Clark Elementary.
Okay.
And at that time, it was Clark Intermediate. And so she told me about the school, and I was just so excited to go and interview and
Right.
work for such a powerful leader. And so I did. I transitioned and moved to Spring ISD 23 years ago.
Could not leave.
Could not leave. It definitely became my home.
Right.
And I had an opportunity to teach third graders.
Okay.
Loved every second of it. And
Okay.
then, from working there, got an opportunity to be the assistant principal.
Okay.
And then the associate principal when Clark Intermediate combined with Clark Primary.
Right.
And those two schools
Yeah.
became one school under one leadership team.
Right.
And so I got a chance to be the associate principal there. Loved it, loved every second of it.
Good. Okay.
And then got an opportunity to apply for the principalship at Beneke Elementary. And that's where I
Okay.
was for 7 years. years. I love those. Shout out to my Beneke Bears.
All right.
I love
I hope
my
they
Beneke
listening.
Bears. Yes, I hope they are too.
Yes.
Stayed there for 7 years, and then I got an opportunity to work in central office in Spring ISD, and worked as a director of leadership.
Okay.
Was able to provide professional development for the entire district. Loved that role, and then had an opportunity to work as the assistant superintendent of academics.
All right.
And that's where I met Dr. Cuellar.
Dr. Cuellar.
He was my chief of academics, and we were in those roles for 3 years. And then as he became the superintendent, I'm just privileged to be the chief of staff in Spring ISD. Spring is my home. We are a family.
Right.
We are a district that, I tell everyone I will not leave. I won't go anywhere. I'll just volunteer. If y'all put me out, I'll just stay there and volunteer. But I love Spring ISD and what we're able to do for students. And the things that we've accomplished this year, just really warms my heart, because I know that it is what's best for student outcomes in our district. So thank you guys for having us, and I am just so happy to be here.
All righty. Okay, Sandra has some questions that she want to ask you guys. I'm excited too. I love Spring. I've been in here for 26 years, volunteer. Everybody think I'm a teacher. I said, no, I'm not a teacher. I'm a volunteer, but I love what I do. Working with the kids, I love to see them shine, and I love to see them excel. And I tell them the sky's the limit. Never give up no matter what. All right? Okay, Dr. Scott.
Exactly. The sky is the limit, and that's the message. I know I see Dr. Cuellar as well as Dr. Harris put across to the students as well as the staff. Right. And I know both of you have been in education for many, many years, as you've stated. I know you were a principal, and I know Dr. Cuellar was a principal as well. And so, and as I see you guys working together daily, you are a dynamic duo, I would say. Right.
Yes, they are.
Getting the work done.
Yes.
And I know we're in challenging times, not just in Spring, but public education in general.
Right.
When my kids, many, many years were in school, when I would have to go to the school or conference, with our teachers, I would always say, look, I look at this as a triangle.
Yes.
Equal parts. The student, the parent, and the teacher, or the administration. Now, I was just thinking this morning on the way, I said, well, maybe it's moved from a triangle to a square.
Right.
Right? Because now we have the student, the parent, the teachers or the administration, and now our government gets involved in a lot of the state and national.
Right.
And we know what's going on in Washington, D.C. with our Department of Education.
Right.
We know what's going on with the state. Right. And I know I'm not going to call them a watchdog. I'm just going to say, because sometimes that has good and bad connotation. Right. But I would say that all of these entities play a role. So I'm asking both of you to just expound on a little bit on that with regards to even the student's role, the parents' role, the administration, the staff role. And I've heard you speak several times to your staff, and I just love it. And I have to say this before I go. I think you are the man for the job. In such a time as this.
Yes, and I do too. Everybody.
Yes, so I do applaud you for that. But before you even get started, I would say to our listeners, and I know they'll have an opportunity to go back and replay and everything, but hey, why don't you call your neighbor, your friends, and let them know Dr. Cuellar is on the radio this morning, and he has some things to say. Right? So with that being said, I would just, I want to yield the proverbial floor to you to just expound on those three areas as you would, okay?
And I just want the listeners to know that we don't do call-ins, and if anybody want to know, you have to watch it. If you want to come on the show, you have to come into a studio. Don't do call-ins. So He's going to tell you everything, and then after the show, you can call him at his office if you have any questions, okay? All righty.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And we're always open to questions. And,
Right.
you know, I in the words of my board president,
Yes.
It takes a village, and it takes all of us.
It does. It does.
Education has always been important, no matter what. I consider that to always be the top profession, because we are molding the youth of tomorrow.
Yes.
But I feel like it has never been so important as it is today.
It is.
And I think back years ago, a bad memory for all of us is going back to COVID.
Yes.
And really experiencing the amount of educational disruption that occurred during that time.
Yes.
And just then being able to reacclimate students, into a inclusive environment of being able just to learn social skills all over again, starting with foundation with our children.
Yes.
And already, as a nation, and when you look back 5-7 years and you look at your 4th and 8th grade NAEP assessment scores, we have been struggling in the arena of mathematics, and even reading language arts as well. And so when you grapple, with some of the areas that we have been focusing so heavily on, as a state, even as a nation, but then you have such a disruption, such as COVID occur. It really, really emphasizes the importance of whole child education and really how to wrap around your youth and your kids, to help them with all aspects of their walk of life. And, and I want to just say thank you publicly to all of our educators. I want to say thank you publicly to all of our leaders, to all of our staff, because you are working so hard, not only just to be a teacher, but you are a lot of other things to children. And I say that, leaders and teachers wear multiple hats, at any given time, during that 8-hour, educational time. But it's never been more so than now. Wearing the hat of an educator, wearing the hat of a nurse, of a social worker, wearing the hat of a counselor. The list goes on and on and on of really the call and the need to wrap around kids in a much more profound way than we've ever had to do before, And I really just wanted to publicly thank all of our educators, and all of our staff that are just doing beautiful work for children every single day. And I want to call that out. And I don't think they hear that enough. And I think that's really important. And so when we think about, education on the landscape, I mean, it is continuously evolving every single day.
Every single day.
And we have to make sure that we're evolving with it. But we also have to be exponentially making leaps and bounds to close the gaps. I talk about the importance of third grade reading. That is probably one of the most important benchmarks for a child's life, is making sure that every third grader is reading on or above grade level. That has never been more important. And so we're all grappling with no longer are the days where we can just do enough, to get through 1 year's worth of learning for children. Now we're having to ensure that we're closing all gaps for kids. And so teachers and staff and leaders are now having to grow children a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years to really make sure that our children, are where they need to be. And that's the expectation. And one of the things that really just warms my heart is that, this past Saturday, we have Saturday schools that are happening, and we know that our kids need more.
I love that. That's awesome.
Our kids need more than just 40 hours of instruction.
Yes, they do.
Throughout the course of the week. And I just want to just also publicly thank all of our staff who is in all 40 of our schools teaching our students on a Saturday.
I love it.
That's awesome. It makes me excited to think that We had over 1,600 students in school on Saturday.
That's amazing.
1,600 kids learning. And
That's important.
Great.
yes, yes. And when you talk about that triangle,
Right.
you can't have that without student interest,
Right.
without teacher passion,
Right.
and without parental involvement.
Right.
That's it.
You can't make that happen without
Right.
every piece of that
Triangle.
triad.
That triangle.
Yes,
Yes, you got to have that triangle.
You have to have that, and I also want to publicly thank our parents and our community,
Right.
For
Right.
saying you know what, it is okay
Right.
for me to have my children go to school for an extra day,
Right.
and trusting the campus, trusting our district with your children on a weekend.
Right. And some of them have to take them and pick them up. So that means that's important. Right.
Absolutely.
takes
It means
commitment,
that
like
they're
you said.
that they're dedicated.
Right.
I love it.
And
I love it.
I am also encouraged too, because we are seeing now a community and a parent base that are truly driven,
Right.
by our need for continuous improvement.
Right.
We've been averaging, at our last couple of parent advisory committee meetings, over 250 parents that are attending.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
250.
That's
Like that's
awesome.
another record for the involvement of our parent base.
Yes.
And so publicly calling out our parents, thank you, but also we need more of that.
Right.
We need parents involved in no matter what capacity, but
That's right.
volunteerism is so important.
Yes. Yes.
And getting involved in our schools, and really helping us, move the needle for children, but also volunteerism and support is also at home.
Right.
So once our children leave us and go back home,
Right.
asking my parents, then what are we doing to help our children with their homework?
Right.
And help them prepare for the next day's worth of
For the
learning.
next day.
Right.
Which is what my call to action is for all of our community. And so
Right.
I think that triangle that you listed, it's very important.
It is.
Because we can't get the momentum and we can't accomplish our goals for kids if we do not have, our students and our parents, especially our staff and our teachers and our leaders, all working in tandem for the betterment of kids.
That means a lot.
Yes, that is so very, very important.
Yes.
And I want to echo your shout out to Spring ISD Board of Trustees.
Yes.
I think they're a fantastic group with a fantastic opportunity to just continue to grow and improve the Spring School District. And and shout out to our family and community engagement,
Yes.
because I see the parents coming in. They have classes.
Yes.
They have classes, English to Spanish class, and vice
Right.
versa. Even with technology. So I see the things, the hard work, the heavy lifting that you guys are doing in the district. I also know that the community is very important. And as you were talking, I said triangle, square. Now I say maybe it's a pentagon. Because the community, but it really takes everyone.
It does.
And I know this is a term, the old African proverb, and it's been used a lot, and I believe in it, and it does take a village. But in this day and time, and always, it has always taken all of these entities, the
Yes.
community. I see our ministerial alliance
Yes.
that come, and shout out to them. They've adopted schools. They're
Right.
in the classroom. Shout out to our education foundation,
Right.
because we do need volunteers.
Yes.
Our community partners like Exxon Mobil, and
Yes.
I don't want to get into calling names. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone and let them know that yes, we have Dr. Cuellar, we have Dr. Harris,
Right.
we have a staff of teachers, even our administration staff. Everybody is doing the work, but we appreciate that everyone works together and
Right.
appreciate that we each have a role to play. And I know in one of your meetings I heard you say this, and I understand the context that you said it in, but you mentioned to the staff that the student you're going to err on the side of the student every time.
Well,
And I appreciate you saying that, and that's what we should all do. What were you going to say about that?
You're right, and that is something that is something I've been very public about, and I want to touch on one thing before I talk about that. Is definitely a shout out to the school board.
Yes.
When we talk about the team of 8, the school board and myself are that team of 8, and and the school board is the governing body, and their core responsibility outside of budget and hiring a superintendent and policy is to also ensure that they're helping clear out barriers, to allow the superintendent and schools, to actualize change in a very quick, expedient manner. Right. And I want to thank them, for being so courageous and focusing on continuous improvement. None of this would be possible. This year of us really actualizing, such a transformation process for the entire community of Spring ISD could not be possible, without the school board. And I just want to publicly say thank you to them, for their courage and their trust, in allowing us to move this ship so fast and doing some really good work. So thank you. But yes, going back to that comment, one of the things that we've been very public about, the school board, myself alike, is that we always start off every board presentation with a line that says student outcomes do not change until adult behaviors change.
Right, that's it. I love it.
And I want to repeat that, right? Student outcomes do not change until adult behaviors change. Right. And that is so true. Yes. It's never our students' fault, for how they arrive in our schools, but it's our job and our priority to ensure that they get what they need, no matter where their starting point is, right? And I have always been public about that since I've become superintendent. I like our adults a lot. Yes. I do. We have great folks that work in this organization. I just want to highlight that. We just heard about all the good work that's happening in all of our 40 schools. I really do. And my job is to support them. However, I love our kids a lot more.
Yes.
And I think that's very important for all of us. Yes. This is a service-based industry, and my service, of course, is to staff, right? But I ultimately work for kids. Right. As a superintendent, I will always make decisions based off of children's needs first, every single time without fail, right? And sometimes those decisions may be uncomfortable, but that's okay because you can't get different results if you do things the same way. Right.
Have to make some changes.
We have to make some changes. And we've made some great changes. And publicly thanking our staffs and our teams, for being able to be nimble and flexible throughout this year to make some of those very, extravagant changes for the betterment of kids.
Right. Extravagant, but as you always say, but necessary.
But necessary.
And I learned long ago that the only constant that we have is change.
That's right.
Is change.
It's change.
And we need to be able to pivot, as they say. Or I would say there's always a plan A, but sometimes you have to go to plan B or plan C if A is not working. I know one of the things that you also talk about, and I'd like for you to elaborate on that, and you as well, Dr. Harris, is the together in culture. Together in accountability. What does that look like in the district specifically, but also I think because our listeners, especially, I really want us to reach our parents and our students. I'm not saying they're the missing key, but they're the key that we want to continue to engage and let them know. We send our kids off to school.
Right.
And you have them for most of the day.
Right.
But the work of parenting is 24/7. And working with them and encouraging them, and even as a parent long ago, of course, even with our grandkids, you have to sit there. You have to do the homework. And I know, and I'm going to let you answer this question, but another thing that the district does, and you talked about the third grade students and the reading level, and one of the things that we do, which is our winter wonderland, where we encourage our kids to bring a book home.
Right.
and read, but we also encourage the parents to read along with them, right? So let's get back to the together in culture, together in accountability. I'd like to hear both of you expound on what that means in the district and when our kids go home and in the community.
Well, I'll start, and then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Harris. But I was actually just sharing with Dr. Harris and Trinita Carroll last week and said, every year we think of a new theme, for the school year.
Yes.
We think of a new theme for our Summer Leadership Institute, for our new teacher extravaganza, and then for our convocation, right?
Right.
And I was just sharing with Dr. Harris and Ms. Carroll, I was like, this might be the first year that we don't change the theme.
Yeah.
Because the Together in Culture and Accountability, it has taken off so much that it has actually become the fabric of our DNA.
Okay.
And it is everything, not just what we do, but who we are.
Who we are. I love it.
And you walk into our buildings, it permeates hall to hall and wall to wall in every classroom.
Yes.
And that's what people are talking about. That's what they are living in the schoolhouse and at home. And so I was telling Dr. Harris and Ms. Carroll, I was like, this is probably a pivot point for us, where we don't have to start grappling with what is our new theme for the year.
Right.
If you have something that is part of your DNA, as an organization, as a student body, as a people, as a community, then we need to keep expanding on that.
Right.
And, when I think about culture and accountability, I think it's, it works interchangeable with each other. You don't have one without the other. You have a thriving culture that's built on the foundation of respect and professionalism, and a love and joy for what we do and learning, and of course a culture of high expectations.
Yes, high expectations.
Right?
Yes.
And then you have the accountability part. We're all accountable for meeting the needs of kids. We're all accountable, for waking up every day and always taking it that extra mile.
Right.
So accountability is very important. We have to make sure that we're meeting that need of high expectation for children, right? And holding ourselves and each other accountable, guarantees that we're meeting, the goals that we set forth for meeting the needs of all of our kids. But I want to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Harris because, I really don't take a lot of credit, for the origin of this, of our tagline, our mission statement. It's something that, I know that Dr. Harris, worked hard on with Ms. Carroll and some other folks too.
Right.
Dr. Lewis and company who really, were thinking about what is something that is going to really, catapult us, through a new strive for excellence. So I'm going to go and turn it over to Dr. Harris around, what does that truly mean, for Spring ISD?
Yes, I love it.
Thank you, Dr. Cuellar.
Right.
So when I think about together in culture, together in accountability, I think about, an organization where you hold some accountable.
Right. So,
or not everyone.
Not everyone.
Well, what happens with a culture?
Right.
Individuals will quickly realize that only some are held to that higher standard.
Right.
So one of the things that, Dr. Cuellar has charged us with this year is having high expectations. And so,
I love that.
Shout out to Dr. Cuellar and our Board of Trustees because we are a Lone Star Governance District, which means we have to focus on student outcomes.
Yes.
And when you watch our board meetings and our board work sessions, you will see we are focused on student outcomes.
Right.
So it's not all about just having the culture in the district, but not getting the outcomes for students. We're here for students. And so in order to see the results that our students deserve, because we always say our students deserve, that we have high expectations. And whatever it takes for us to make sure that our students are performing, then that's what we have to do. And the accountability has been very high. like Dr. Cuellar said, it starts not just in the summer, but every day. We're
Every
focused
day.
on student
Right.
outcomes.
Every
But
day,
in
365 days a year.
365 days.
Yes.
But one of the things we know, if you're going to have high expectations, you have to give teachers and leaders the tools to be
Right.
successful.
Right.
So we start with our Summer Leadership Institute in the summer, and we have robust sessions
Yes.
on every aspect of what the instruction needs to look like for our students. And we have our teachers and our leaders learning throughout the summer. We provide lots of robust professional development. And then we start the school year, and then we have our in-service days where they are learning with their peers. And on campus, and the principals have an opportunity to model those expectations. And we always say clarity is kindness. So if you are extremely clear about the expectations, but you give individuals the tools to be successful, then we will see the teachers are successful, the leaders are successful, and then ultimately our students will be successful. And so it has been a great year with high expectations, but providing individuals the support they need. We are on campuses Monday through Friday. Actually Saturday. Monday through Saturday.
Can y'all just talk a little bit more about that Saturday? Whose idea was that to do that? I see it's been very, very successful. Can you tell us a little bit about when it started and how successful it's been, and also with the parents? How do you connect the parents?
Well, I have to get that to the superintendent because that is his mandate and expectation.
Because a lot of people is talking about that. They love it.
Yeah,
Saturday school.
I think it's everyone. I think it's really the collective will of everybody wanting to go over and beyond for kids.
Right.
I know that I had personally a great experience when I was a principal in Houston ISD many years ago.
Right.
But one of the things that I really attribute to our success, at that campus was that we operated 6 days a week, and we started Saturday school right in the beginning of September, and we did it 3 Saturdays a month all the way until the end of April.
Okay.
And I credit my staff that always showed up, and my kids always showed up, and I always say we averaged in the hundreds upon hundreds that would come every single Saturday. Wanting to be a part of that extra additional learning opportunity. And I really do think that, it plays a significant role in really helping our children grow,
I think so.
at a much quicker rate and help close gaps, at a quicker rate. And, we're having that conversations last year. I think we started it a little bit last year. But we really, I think, cemented it this year. And really saying, like, this is one of those non-negotiables that we understand that our kids need extra time in the learning environment. And so all of our schools are offering after-school tutorials throughout the week, and they're doing Saturday programming. And it's been amazing. And I was just sharing with the staff this morning at our cabinet meeting that when you're walking into in the buildings on Saturdays, and we're all out there on Saturdays, by the way, I will never, ever expect a teacher, a principal, a staff member to be here on Saturdays, and I'm not there with them.
Oh, that's amazing.
I will never expect something from anyone that I'm not willing to do with you and for you. And
because this is my words, we're better and stronger.
Together,
Yes.
Always together. And
Together.
walking into these schools and feeling the energy from the staff, they all want to be there. It doesn't feel like it's forced. It doesn't feel like we have to. It's because they want to. That's a beautiful thing. And we were at Lewis Elementary School on Saturday was our first stop. After the Girls and Boys Empowerment Summit. And, when we were talking with staff members, wow. And this is all of our staff throughout the district. Just the love for their children.
Yes, I love
the love for learning is there. And you feel that passion, that synergy, that excitement. And I was telling the team this morning, a quality Saturday school program should be that if I woke up not knowing what day of the week it was, if I was to walk into that Saturday and not be able to tell if it was Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, that's a good Saturday school program. Because with the Saturday programs that we were experiencing on Saturday, you would not be able to tell the difference between a Monday through Friday, learning environment. And so I want to say that itself, if done right, and so far with what we're seeing is being done just wonderfully, is going to be a game changer for our kids.
Yeah, so can you tell me just how did it make you feel knowing some of the parents get up in the morning and bring their kids to Saturday class? That
warms my
feel
heart
good.
so much. I'm like, wow, it's what I needed. And I think that it's a wonderful activity to close my week off and being in the learning with kids on a Saturday. And well, I was talking about Lewis Elementary, which is just one of our 40 plus schools that was conducting Saturday school.
Right.
But do you know that they had over 170 kids
Oh, I love
at
it.
Lewis Elementary?
That's amazing.
170 kids were there on a Saturday to get that extended learning.
Right.
That's amazing.
Let me ask another question. Do you know, are there any other districts doing what Spring ISD is doing?
I have a lot of, speaking into with my colleagues, there is a lot of innovative practices, that are going on around the city. And, and I think about my colleagues, over in Aldine and Tomball and A-Leaf and Houston. And I think, definitely now, too, is the time, where we're going all in to make sure no child is left behind. And I think that's really, really important. I tend not to focus too much on the others because, right now, my attention needs to be 100% here on spring, but I would like to think, that, we are definitely doing things that are so creative and out of the box that we are going to see some significant strides from our kids come the end of the year.
Well, I'm supposed to talk about this let you talk about it a little bit, is because, both of my two grandkids, they graduated from Westfield, right? And I'm not in the loop of everything because, it's Thursday. I've been really dealing with chest cold, Sandra and I. That's why I missed the summit. So my grandson called. I said, Mimi, did you hear about it? I said, what? He said, I'm bad. That's some bad Westfield. Them boys is bad. I said, okay, they are. They won what they won, champion or something. The basketball team.
Oh, good, bad. Okay.
He said, good, bad. He said, some bad boys. He said, I said, I don't know. He said, I can't believe that you're not following the doggone basketball boys. You guys know what's going on. So I was kind of bad. He wasn't too happy with me because I was feeling good and I didn't know. Right. And so Jason said, yes, I want to know what's going on with you. You not know that they won district or something, the basketball team, did they win district?
Well, yes, our Westfield boys and girls basketball team, won
Girl
district. Yes, so go Mustangs.
Jason's one of our board members. He worked with Sandra too, so he called him. So that's making me feel bad. He said, well, I want to sponsor, and Miss Scott, where you been? I said, boy, I've been not feeling well. Okay, I said, I support Westfield girls and boys. So he said, he wants y'all to talk about it, right? So y'all need to talk about how you're proud of Westfield High School. Okay.
Well, I'm always proud of all of our schools.
Exactly.
So I want to put the plug in for all of our high schools, and just really, just
great leadership.
I want to put the plug in and give a shout out to Spring High School, Decaney High School, Westfield High School, Spring Early College, Wunchie, Momentum. We've got wonderful schools
and
that are doing great things for kids. But definitely a shout out to Westfield, the Mustangs. Our boys and our girls, winning the basketball district championship is nothing short of amazing, and a tradition. And a tradition that continues to carry, within the walls of Westfield High School, who have always been known for being a powerhouse in athletics. So
I love it.
Congratulations to them. Very proud of them. We actually, got to see the boys play quite a few this year, but got the opportunity to watch the girls play, in their first round of the playoffs. And we got to watch them win a very nail biter, against College Park, and they won in overtime to make it to the second round of the playoffs. But I want to just say one thing too. Just outside of, athletics, but just we've got good kids.
Oh, thank you for
wonderful.
saying that.
We've got great kids.
Great kids.
We have the best kids.
Yes. Wonderful.
And it's I just can't say that enough. I'm always beaming with so much pride the more I get to really just be in our children's space.
Right.
I was at the livestock show and rodeo, and every year I look so forward to going to the exhibition hall and looking at the students' art. And looking for spring. I told my family, look, no, I need to stop and look at our spring ISD students' art. So some wonderful art. But I want to echo what you said. Not shout out for sure to Westfield, but I know our performing and visual art team has been winning some UIL.
Right.
I'm sorry?
UIL.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and yes. And so across the board, and I know a lot of times it's easy for the media to focus on the negative or the bad things.
Yes.
But when we see our students, when they're emceeing our state of the district, and they're doing their poetry or our ensembles, our jazz quartets, and all of that performing at our partner appreciation, we see that we have some fantastic students. They're doing things in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And I think, once again, that's kudos to the leadership, both and at the administrative level, as well as the campuses and all the teachers and the sponsors that are doing extra. They're not working 40 hours. That's that's just it. They're not. And when we look at this, I look at a hand. We're like this, 5 fingers. But when you put them together, that's strength.
That's strength.
That's right.
That's strength, and that's power. And it is just such a wonderful thing to see Spring Independent School District doing those things, putting in the work. And when you were talking about the parents coming to the Saturday sessions, I said to myself, now they get it. Not saying that they didn't get it before, but maybe they really get it now. And I think when everybody really gets it, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. And we can't say, y'all go on and let them educate you and let them do this. No, come along with us, join with us. And I think, just like you say, we are better together when we're all pushing towards the same goal, and that is to educate our kids. So,
and it's best to be positive.
Yes.
And don't do negative. If you want to know somebody about a school, visit the school. Come a part of it.
That's right.
Don't talk negative. Just say something positive.
Or come to the schools.
Come to the schools.
Volunteers.
And
we
volunteer.
have Vine. Is that correct?
The Vine mentorship
The
program.
Vine mentorship program.
Right.
So we're asking for parents.
There's
and thank
plenty of
God
places for you at
our,
the school if you want to.
Our community businesses that are working, not just the Ministerial Alliance, but other businesses that are coming in. So if you want to be a part of the progress, a part of the success, because we're all stakeholders. Right. Bottom line is we are all stakeholders.
Yes, ma'am.
So if anyone wants to get in touch with the district and want to be a volunteer, want to support in any way, is there, I know we have our district's website, but is there another way that someone, other than calling Dr. Cuellar,
they want to get in contact and want to know something?
Well, I think the best way is just really contact your child's school or contact the school that's within your own neighborhood.
Yes.
Because there's always opportunities for all forms of volunteerism.
Right.
You don't only need a child in our school district to be involved, right?
Right.
That's right.
I always say, good schools create a strong, healthy economy.
Right.
And having great schools creates a great community.
Right.
And so I thank you for setting that up. I want to just definitely encourage everyone to be involved. Right. I understand too. We are definitely far from perfect. Right. We are constantly evolving.
Yes.
We're going to have some pieces that we're going to have to continue to refine to get better.
Right.
And that's our commitment, to continue to get better. Is that continuous improvement mindset.
Yes.
But I want our community and our parents as partners. It's very easy to hyper over glorify the problem.
Right,
you know,
right.
but it's a lot more, you know, it takes a lot more time, you know, to actually become part of the problem solvers.
Yes.
You're right. And,
Yes.
and I,
That's
and
right.
I need the problem solvers.
Yes.
Yes.
I need everyone that I can get to be part of the action that's going to take us, you know, from good to great. And we have a lot of work to do. And I'm not disillusioned by that.
Right.
You know, we have a lot of work to do. But we've got the folks that are committed to doing it. And I need that community and parental involvement. You know, I need that base that continues to help us, you know,
important.
move
It's
at the
important.
rate that we're going.
It's very important.
And
It is.
I know we just got off an election, and we have another election coming up,
Right.
some runoffs in May.
Yes.
And then, of course, in November. But because both Thelma and I say Thelma versus Dr. Scott, because in Austin we're known as Thelma and Louise. But
I can see
Thelma is
that.
Louise. Nobody don't know her middle name is Louise, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
It's very
indeed.
fitting, though.
A family name. Yeah, that's why we got that little title there. But what I was going to say is when you elect officials, you know, when you go out to these townhouse meetings
Right.
and considering your candidates, if
Right.
you're looking,
Right.
And I know we have our civic engagement
Yes.
individual here, even in Spring District, but find out what their stance is on public education.
Correct.
On
Yes.
education, because once again, we want to include the government in our little accountability.
Right.
I guess it's a circle now because
Yes, it is.
you know, since you
Yes.
teed it up, because you're right, you did mention
Yeah,
about the government piece.
Got to
And,
have a government
you know,
piece.
I want to say this, and you know, not to really talk too much about politics, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know, at
But
the-
it's real.
But it's real.
It's real.
But at the end of the day, it's about wanting to see our kids win.
Yes.
You know, and I want to believe that, and I do believe that. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, regardless of where we stand on the political spectrum,
Right.
Yes.
No matter what side of the
our
aisle.
kids are showing up,
They are.
and we
Yes.
have to serve them,
Yes.
Right. They are.
regardless.
Yes.
And no matter what, it is my commitment that we will always continue to serve students to the very best of our ability.
Right.
And you know, one of the things that I say is, you know, when people talk about champions for public education,
Right.
but we also have to realize too that it's an all kid agenda.
Right.
You know, at
Right.
the end of the day, you know, as a nation, we want to see all of our children win.
Yeah.
That's
All
our
of the
that's our
kids.
future.
Yes.
Yes.
See the
That
win.
is our future.
Right.
No matter on what side you're on, you want to see children win.
Right.
And, you know, it's our job to find out, you know, not find out, but it's our job to continue to innovate in ways
Right.
that are going to ensure that our children are winning.
A win.
Right.
Right.
All
and,
of our children.
And so we
All
think
of our
we
children.
think about the enrollment decline, right? And I was having a conversation, you know, with an individual back in the fall, and I actually bring this one up a lot, don't I? You know, and one of the things that this individual asked me was, you know, Kregg, what's one of the things that keeping you up at night? Well, I can name a lot. You know,
Me
I
too.
can name a lot. You know, we can talk about academic outcomes. We can talk about safety of children. I mean, the list goes on and on. But one of the things that we decided to talk about was enrollment.
Right.
You know, we are losing kids in
Right.
spring. And so one of the things that I had said, you know, openly to this individual was we have a lot of competition around us.
Right.
And we're losing a lot of kids to this competition.
Right.
And so, you know, it keeps me up at night about, hey, you know, all these schools around us that are taking our kids. However, I was corrected. And it was a great correction because it's never been so true, this statement was, you know, Kregg, no one is taking your kids. You need to find out why your kids are opting out.
Right. Okay.
So no one's forcing your kids to leave your schools.
Just find out.
We
what's
need to find out why our families are leaving.
and leaving.
And that made me really think about it in a very different way is, you know, what can we do to always be on the cutting edge of being the very best that we can for our families?
Right.
You know, how can we enhance customer service? How can we enhance,
Yes.
you know, quality choice programming?
Yes.
Right? How can we continue to enhance the academic program
Right.
to ensure that every single school in spring is
Right.
high performing?
High performance.
No matter where you reside on what side of 45,
Yes.
you are guaranteed to be a high performing school.
high performing.
So it's all of those pieces that we have to solve together as a community of one.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, you know, we all want to make sure that our kids win.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's what it's about, is making sure our kids win. So no matter what barriers are out there,
Right.
you know, before us, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we still have to give children a high quality education, and we are, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Right. And that's so important because, like Sandra said, the politics is real. It's because, you know, I was hit with it, and I was so emotional because I really didn't understand. It's because, you know, Sandra and I, we help all kids, right? All kids. So when they cut our funding because we were safe, diverse communities, and we had to go and change the name and do everything. So I wasn't understanding. Wait, I'm sending these kids to college, and I'm helping them, and you're going to take our funding. So, like my son said, had to get through my head, right? I couldn't wrap my brains around it. He said, Mother, it is what it is, but you cut my funding during the time I'm trying to help these kids go to college and stay in college, right? So it's politics, right? It's because we help a diverse group of kids. Yes, I've given scholarships to immigrants, all of them, but you know what? That is a no-no. Everybody don't think like we think, because I help all kids. But we got punished, right? We got our funding cut because of helping a diverse group of kids. DEI, my program surrounds that. So to me, like Sam said, politics interferes into that. You may not want to think about it, but it does, right? So we have to be careful about what we say these days and what we do. I don't know if y'all know that.
I say where there's a will, there is a way.
But
And like
diverse
you
is
said,
a bad word, okay?
Well, for some, but that's a good
But we
topic
still,
for another
standing.
day.
We still standing. We still
But
standing.
we have the will in Spring ISD.
Yes, that's
what the
why
beautiful
will-
thing is.
Yes.
Is
In
all,
spite of it.
all 5,600 employees
Right.
have that will to win.
Yes.
And win for our kids. You know,
are.
every one
We
of our
are.
parents and our
Yes.
kids want to win.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And
Want to win.
you know, no matter what, that's what it's about. At
That
the end of the
is.
day,
Right.
it's about winning for our kids winning and ensuring that they are progressing with a high quality, high standard, you know, education. And that's what it will always be, no
Number
matter
one.
what.
Right.
Number one.
Education.
Number one.
Number one is our
Education
kids.
is the key. Nelson Mandela said that. Education is the key
It's the
to
key.
which we can change the world.
Yes.
And that's so important.
Say it again, Sandra. Tell them again.
Education is the key.
Okay.
For which we can change the world.
100%.
Yes.
And we have to educate starting with our kids.
Right.
For sure. And another thing, since we're talking about International Women's Month, one of the things that we gave out, my organization, JAMA, to our girls, it says, despite it all, she persevered.
That's right.
Right.
So we have to persevere. But as you were talking about the other schools that are coming up and all of that, and
Right.
that's change. We talked about change earlier
Right.
in the program.
Yes.
But there are some things, as you were saying, that are going on in the district because I'm an Aldine graduate. Right?
All right.
But
Okay.
I love me some Spring Independent School District.
Yes, she does.
And we have some wonderful things that are going on some of our campuses. I know we have the Bama School for International Studies. We
Yes.
have the Barber College over at Westfield and some other things. Can you all speak to some of those extra things
Well.
that not only in the classroom, but
Right.
some other things that we are providing for the students in spring?
All I have to say
Yes.
is stay tuned.
Okay.
When
I
we
love
talk
that.
about reimagining,
So stay tuned, Sandra, so they're coming back.
yeah.
Stay
when
tuned.
we talk about
Second segment.
reimagining Spring ISD,
Second segment.
we are reimagining. We are reimagining just how we do school here in Spring ISD.
Do
Okay.
school. I
How
like that.
we
How
do
do
school. You know, and I don't want to give away too much too early.
Okay.
You know, but we are creating innovation zones in our district.
Right.
We are trying to make sure that every single elementary school is anchored, you know,
Okay.
to a career pathway program.
All right,
yes,
I
You
love
know,
it.
we are
I love
looking
that.
at creating for the first time, I think, probably in the history of Spring ISD,
Right.
a true feeder pattern system in 27, 28,
Okay.
where now we're going to be able to have students that are in these career tracks all the way from elementary to middle into high.
Wow.
So when I say stay tuned,
Ooh, yeah.
More to come.
it's a great day to be part of Team Spring.
Wonderful.
It's more to come. I love it. I love it. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. I want to say a last word. Dr. Harris, you want to say something, pass it around, because at the end, this our little slang the same I do at the end. We say, Safe Community love you, Radio Dabang love you, and Sandra say her little spiel about her organization, and then we say, we love you, and ain't nothing to do about it. So go ahead.
I think I'll just say our students are worth whatever it takes.
All right.
Together in culture, together in accountability.
All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Cuellar? Okay. Your last little message?
One of the things that I was sharing with our students at the Boys and Girls Empowerment Summit is that, greatness is not inherited,
Right.
but it's a decision that we choose to be.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And I want to say that there is a lot of greatness here in Spring ISD.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that. Okay,
Yes.
Dr. Scott.
Well, thanks to our wonderful guests. Very great conversation, information sharing. And I'm going to, on behalf of Dr. Scott and I, you're going to have to come back.
Yes,
I can't wait to see what's coming. I'm excited.
Can't wait for the
about
second
that.
segment. All right.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All righty. Well, thank you guys. You guys really made our day. Because Sandra and I was thinking about it. I've been home the last 4 days thinking about you guys that have been sick, weren't able to get out and do anything. I said, I'm resting because I got to be at the show Monday. I'm not leaving my house because I need to rest, right? And I did rest and take medicine. And my daughters, right, they're so pousy, but they made sure that...
That's why I have my ginger tea.
That's right.
Make sure to get my rest. But I just wanted to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. We love you guys. And I've been in Spring for 26 years, and I'm not going anywhere because I love it. And I'm not a teacher. Everybody want to know if I'm a teacher because they see me on campus all the time. I said, I'm just a volunteer. Right. But I love what I do, and I love Spring ISD, and I'm going to be there for the next 26 years. Will y'all have me for the next 26 years?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Well, we're getting ready to end the show, and when we say we love you and all, y'all just wait till we get through saying it, and we do our little rock and roll. Then we can close it out. And then we can take a few pictures and go home. All right.
All right. Thank you so much for having us.
All righty. All right. Safe Communities love you. Radio Dabang love you.
I love you. Jama loves you.
And Team Spring loves you so much.
All right. Ready?
And
it ain't
there's
nothing you can do about it. Hey. Have a blessed day. Tell somebody you love them and smile.
Yes. And call a school. Volunteer.
Volunteers, right? Thank you so much and have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, you guys.